Welcome everyone to First Crack, and we are doing a little bit of management ourselves with Joe Montagna having the weekend off and Dicko stepping into that chair, so a bit of role reversal.
Dicko.
And Kingy, welcome to you.
Hello, another cracking round of footy.
Certainly was, and as I said, lots of drama, but as always, we're going to start with the ladder and the implications, and if anything...
Can you look after the ladder for us?
Well, I know it's usually Joey's portfolio, but the Sydney Swans have strengthened their position at the top of the ladder despite not playing over the weekend.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a good-looking ladder, though. What jumps out to you the most? I mean, the Bombers didn't lose any admirers tonight, I wouldn't have thought.
Don't think so. I think Carlton probably the big winners amongst that group with their performance on Thursday night, and the Gold Coast Suns getting that 7th win to jump up into 8 as they see if they can just make finals football for the first time.
They better get used to that on the first roll of that ladder.
Who's that?
The Gold Coast Suns.
Gold Coast Suns, absolutely. What about Freo?
Well, Freo, they have the second best percentage on the ladder now, despite them being in 6th place. I mean, their performance today was quite amazing, which we'll get to shortly. The biggest win under Justin Longmuir for sure.
It's interesting, though, when you look at Carlton and how even the competition was. Going into that round, Collingwood were in the 8, and they'd won 8, counting the draws, and you're thinking, wow, they should be up at 4th or 5th. Now they're outside. So looking at the ladder now, how even the competition is in that first 8.
We've got the Cats that really aren't in the best of form, and they're in 3rd. Obviously, there's a few teams there that had the bye, as we said, that can change the complexion of that over the next few weeks. So, as you said, Dicko, the Pies are out, the D's are back out again, and the Bulldogs just get that little bit closer, and so do Hawthorn. I mean, whoever won that game out of Hawthorn and Adelaide yesterday at the MCG, and the Crows could hardly have been any more disappointing. We're going to move up and shape as a team that could, at the very least, influence from here on in.
Yeah, and Brisbane's the other one too. So we're looking at the grand finals for last year, both outside the 8. So to be fair, when you look at probably Hawthorn jumping to 12th now, you're going, right, they're on a fair run at the moment, but tell you what, you can get into the 8 from anywhere. Like Adelaide right now, you look at it and you go, it's a chance. The
scariest teams to probably play at the moment are 11th and 12th. Mm. It's a fantastic season, and the ladder, it's not set, Hutto. That we can't.
Even Joey couldn't say it was set.
No.
You talked about those two teams that can threaten 11th and 12th. The Bulldogs have got a percentage of 121 and Hawthorn have got a percentage of 86, so it's crazy times indeed.
We get some more clarity on where we need to continue to chase, and that's okay. We prefer not to get that, but we got it.
Results like tonight don't confirm your belief about what we're about. We've been playing against some really good teams over the last little while. Feels like we're sort of playing every team in the top 8 right now, or close to the top 4. So we've been challenged in a lot of areas, but as a result, we've found out more about ourselves.
Pretty solid assessment there from Michael Voss on the Blues. They've had a tough run, they've had their injuries, and after a dour first half and a tight struggle through the 3rd quarter. What a last quarter, led by Patrick Cripps, an 8-goal blitz, and they broke their drought against South Australian teams at the Adelaide Oval. As your final scoreline, 16-11-107 to 10-11-71. It was a significant win, wasn't it, from Carlton? And it was interesting to hear Sam Walsh speak post-match on Fox Footy and their approach to the final quarter.
Us as midfielders at 3/4 time spoke about how we can get some ascendancy at stoppages, and I feel like we force them in and then won it on the inside to then drive our legs and get one-on-ones forward from centre bounce.
And this is what it looks like. So it's drive your legs, let's go through, let's take the risk to be caught with the footy, surge footy, don't go wide. Stay tight if you can to the corridor. And it just exposed them. It just exposed the metres that mattered for Port Adelaide versus the Carlton midfield, and it was just brilliant to watch. I mean, this is absolute damage. Horne-Francis going through at 100 miles an hour. Great smother there from Chincotta, who got the job done on Butters. I never want to hear system overriding the ability to tag again, and we'll get to Bontempelli later, what he did to Dacos late, but we saw the tag work on Butters. Horne-Francis finishes forward of the ball. I know he's trading to a half-forward flank, but you've got to hand over better than that. You can't just expect the half-backer to get to that point, or the half-forward, to get to that point. And this, I don't know how you leave Patrick Cripps free at any point at the start of the last quarter. And this all happened quickly. It was the longest 7 minutes of footy of all time, because
it was
5 goals scored.
Astonishing, wasn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. And this again, just the metres that matter. In terms of your midfield finishing the wrong side of your opponent when the oppo have got the ball, all problems come home to roost. it'll be obvious and evident for Ken Hinkley what needs to be fixed, but let's talk about Carlton, because that was as brutal as they've been for a while. And I think it just shows you what they're capable of. Tico, you want to highlight the numbers, but it shows you what they're capable of as a midfield core now.
Impact or low, that's a big one. Like, can you get there or can you not? Especially at the crux of the game. But you look at the 4-quarter blitz, 7 goals won in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Like, the engine room just turned the heat up. They were just cooking with some gas. And I love the fact that Michael Voss has got the DNA all over it now. You roll the sleeves up, you put your head in the hole, and you can do it.
So they've only had 1 quarter better than that in 10 years. In 10 years. Again, that's a lot of footy. 250 probably games of footy. So that's 1,000 quarters. They've had 1 better. So I just think it was unbelievable, and that was against the Wooden Spooner in the West Coast Eagles last year. So they're rolling now. I think they'll get a lot of confidence from that game.
Huge game against the Bombers coming up for Carlton. Thanks to NIB striving for better. You wanted to look at how Vossi and the Carlton team prepared to take on one of Port's weapons off half-back.
Yeah, well, Joey and I were doing the game last Thursday, and it was just obvious to see that any time Port Adelaide got the ball, they were not to be able to give the ball to Farrell and to Dan Houston. And Houston was held to 3 score involvements for the night, which was fantastic. His lowest score involvement for the year. So look at this. Look at this ability to locate straight away. Bang, onto it. Look at him turning and facing. I got him. He's covered. He's not. There's no through handballs. There's no slip through that past the man on the mark. And then speed comes on the game, and you can get into your forward line ahead of the defensive organisation. Look at this. I have never seen 2 players facing the wrong way to guard players that are potentially there for the handball receive with the play right behind them. Never seen it before. So this is outstanding coaching to not get beaten by what you know. He knew coming in that Farrell and Houston are going to split the guy who marks the ball. Left footer goes that way, right footer goes that way, and we'll just wait and see who fails the test defensively. Well, Carlton never failed the test all night. So they took away Houston's impact, they took away Butter's impact, and they made the others defend in the middle, and they failed. So that's why you get the result. Outstanding preparation, a hit-and-run mission on the road.
All right, so we heard Ken's assessment, and there's plenty of questions around Port, around their method, and I'll get Rosie back. What about Charlie Dixon? Subbed off. He's so beaten up, isn't he, at the moment? Do they just have to try and get him right and be there to still pack some punches, or...?
Got to make a decision now on Charlie. You can't have him in 1 week and, you know, I know his body's failing him at the moment, so you play him when he's fresh or he's feeling good, but it can really interrupt your system and your structure up forward. I just don't think he's got the legs at the moment, and we've all been in that situation. Sometimes, you know, you just haven't got your best there, and Port have won 8 games. They're sitting in 4th position.
Yeah.
Ken goes, we're not going that great. You know, when they didn't have Charlie in Tasmania, in Hobart last week, the functionality of that forward line looked really solid. So it's a tough decision. It's a hard decision to make, but you can't be bringing him in and out. There's got to be some consistency to get the consistency from a team perspective.
Yeah, well, Marshall kicked 5 last week, and Georgiades certainly had one of his best games for the season on Thursday night to put a positive slant on it.